This game, you give it a Google search, and the vast majority of opinion pieces. So, at launch, right, when the game came out, there was a lot of reviews that said, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It's a good game. Quite a good game. But then, afterwards, all the video essays are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, worst game ever. Assassin's Creed Odyssey destroyed Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is the death of a franchise. What the heck? Guys, what is up with the hatred for this game? My theory is that this game here, this poor little game, by the way, do you like that? Second owned games, am I right? I got it for like $20, so that's not bad, especially in Australia where it's different to America. Our most expensive games are $80 instead of $60, by the way, just to do the ratio yourself. But that's a good price. I think most of the hatred comes from the fact that this game does have problems for sure, and those problems are very emblematic of what people don't like, particular people don't like about Assassin's Creed anymore, or perhaps ever. But I don't think those things are universal, and while I agree with a lot of the complaints, I do think that it is very prevalent, and thus it is paramount for me to provide another view, which I reckon is actually the majority. I think the majority of people pick up this game, they play it for 80 hours, they think that was an enjoyable experience, don't think much about it, which is honestly what I was gonna do, and then they move on with their life. They move on, and they don't care. It's the people that were really passionate, love Assassin's Creed, make YouTube videos. This was, to them, a betrayal of what they used to love about Assassin's Creed, and so they go online and they come together and they form their little groups and they rain fire upon poor old Odyssey. I say poor old, it's made by one of the largest gaming companies out there. But I do think Odyssey is a battering ram of much larger problems. What are those problems? Well, there's microtransactions, which became much more prevalent in this game than in previous games, even more so than Origins. There is the annoying leveling system and RPG mechanic in that, where you sometimes have to pay money to level up, and a lot of things are quite grindy, which again makes people very frustrated. And then there's the simple fact that there's a lot of fetch quests, and it's not like Assassin's Creed used to be. And a lot of people are mad about that. They want their old Assassin's Creed. And I understand, guys. You want your old games, but you have your old games. You have your old games, and guess what? Valhalla sold more than any other Assassin's Creed game. So this is where the series is headed. So you might not like it, and that's completely fine. You do not have to like it. But this is the reality now, and I don't think this is as bad as you guys are making it out to be. It might be a bad Assassin's Creed game, I don't know. I've only played Black Flag as other than this. So I haven't played any of the core Assassin's Creed games like the Ezio trilogy. So I don't know what those are exactly. But I do know that this game, which I've poured about 80 hours into, is not terrible. It might be a bad Assassin's Creed game, because it might not have the assassin mechanics of previous games. It might not fit into the lore as well as you might like. But that doesn't mean it's terrible. That means it's not where you want the franchise to head, and that's perfectly valid, and continue to make the video essays, because I enjoy them and they're informative. But there needs to be another view. And I will contend today that there is another view to these games. And it's particularly this one, because this one gets the most hate. And that is that it is a really cool open world game. A really, really cool open world game. I love Ancient Greece. And seeing Ancient Greece fully realized for the first time really in a game, and going to Athens and Sparta and exploring and fighting and seeing Socrates and seeing Pericles and his strategy and Aspasia and seeing all of those characters in full HD, talking, doing quests with them, is so very cool. And I think while I haven't finished the game, I have played enough. I'm almost finished, and I've played about 80 hours, as I said, so I am an authority to speak on this as a game, although I'm not in a position to say if it's better than previous Assassin's Creeds. But I will say, it's really cool. The assassin mechanics are really fun. You can still go up and assassinate someone, and while the grindy mechanics are, they're still grindy, they implore you to go and explore the world. I found that there wasn't really a time where I couldn't continue the story because I was exploring. I was doing side quests, I was finding locations, and that made it really, really enjoyable, and I didn't really have to grind. This is such a grand game. There is so much to do. It is quite overwhelming, in fact. There's almost too much. But that doesn't make it necessarily bad. And this goes back to my second main point, other than the world and how cool it is and visualized in a full virtual format, and that's that the story isn't awful. Yeah, it might be pretty traditional as an Assassin's Creed or even video game story is. It's a revenge plot, but the three main stories, the family story, the cult story, and the Atlantis stories, with the exception of the Atlantis one being so far pretty basic but cool, they're not bad. Of course, there's the modern day stuff, which is not fun, but other than that, they're not bad. The family stuff does get tanked, especially in the second half, by the fact that to go to a new story bit, you have to travel to a new area. But having a sibling be on an evil team and trying to convince them with your mother and or your father if you spare them, and those choices do have actual consequences in the story, that's an entertaining plot. And Cassandra, or Alexios, but Cassandra for me, with Demios being Alexios, she may not be the most entertaining character ever, but she's not awful. Her voice actress is really entertaining. She has a lot of little quirks and personality to Cassandra. And while some people have said that the fact that you can choose both characters makes the dialogue more static because it has to compensate for that, I never felt that to be too bad. Yes, she's not a super deep character, but she is still a character, and she is still a way for you to explore this awesome world and experience the story, which is not awful. It's not going to win any awards, but it does its job. It's a perfectly fine video game story which lets you experience these incredible ancient landmarks and Greece, which is just really cool. And my other main point is that the mechanics of this game are really quite engaging. Yes, the weapon system does sometimes get annoying that you have to constantly get new gear, but I didn't find this necessarily bad. It's like Breath of the Wild when you break a weapon, so you have to get new weapons. I found the fact that my weapons were constantly outdated, they weren't powerful enough, meant that I was constantly searching for new and cool weapons, which was a really fun gameplay loop. Going and scouting camps, taking down enemies was really fun. And people have complained that, well, you can just go in and just fight them too, which isn't really in the spirit of Assassin's Creed, and yeah, I agree with that, but that doesn't make it boring in a gameplay way. I love rushing into a camp, getting my abilities ready and defending myself, dodging, taking down enemies, doing flurry rush kind of moves like from Breath of the Wild, and then just just fully on going for it, and then running away, replenishing my health bar, then coming back, and then attacking, and then running away again and coming back. Maybe that's just me, but that's what I did quite a bit. And I will say again, to acknowledge another complaint which is valid, because this game, I'm not saying this game is perfect, I'm saying it's immensely flawed, but it also has a lot of great aspects. Yes, the tracker, the compass at the top of the screen, when you're following a quest, sometimes you're just going from quest to quest, your brain can turn off, and that makes it really not engaging, and you start to get bored. This happened to me towards late game, but then I turned off the compass, and the whole world opened up, because I had to think. I had to figure out, where do I want to go, what do I want to do. That made me actually engage with the environment, engage with the story, and thus I really enjoyed myself yet again, and got immersed into the story, and enjoyed the mechanics more. If the bad things about Odyssey get to you, they can spiral into really not a great time. But if the good things, the incredible open world, the just really cool characters, which are real people from ancient Greece, the decent story, and if you're willing to embrace them, fun mechanics, all come together, and you also turn off that ruddy compass, it's actually a great time. It's an engaging time where you can put as much into it as you want. If you want to grind and get everything, maybe that is bad. And if you want a perfect Assassin's Creed game, maybe it's not what you want. But it's still fun. It's really cool. It's a great game, and I really enjoy it. It's far, far from perfect. It's not a 10 out of 10 at all, but it's not a travesty. It's not a travesty. And I really do think that Assassin's Creed Odyssey does deserve some love. I'm sorry if I've offended anyone or stepped on anyone's toes while making this. I am a small channel, so it's not like I'm punching down, I'm punching up at the people that hate on the game. And I don't hate on any of those YouTubers at all. I just feel like the hatred towards Odyssey has gotten a bit far, and I'm just here to say, well, it's not all justified. There are quite a few good things. Now, what do you guys think? If you disagree, which I'm sure there are lots of you, go into the comments. We'll have a chat, and keep it civil. And we'll have a lovely chat, and we will exchange some views, and hopefully we'll both come out better educated on the other side. If you agree with me, let me know, because that will let me know that I am not alone, and hey, this game is not all bad, and I'm just not crazy. Because I like being told I'm not crazy. That is crazy. But it's also good. I didn't know where I was going with that. That was a bit of tangent, but I digress. Thank you all very much for watching. My name is Jasper. Make sure you like and subscribe, and you click that like button, yep, and you watch another video. That would be great. If you like this stuff, also click the bell, because do that. I do not click the bell on most people's channels, because I don't care about their channels as much, but maybe you care about mine. That would be really sweet. Would you do that for me? Probably not. But if you did, that would be super. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.